We're here with Jan Taborsky from Toppers Mountain, only winery in New England, as far as we know.
There are more vineyards, but yeah, probably the only one in proper production and actually expanding.
So New England is in New South Wales. We're here in the vineyard. You're gonna see a video of that later. But right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna test Jan's blind tasting skills. We have 3 Australian Nebbiolos, and let's see what he can get. So of course one of them is Toppers Mountain.
Hope I will be able to get that one, but let's see.
The other 2 are wrapped in socks, clean socks. So let's see.
It will be tainted by socks.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's irrelevant anyway.
You have an excuse if you get it wrong.
No, I do love Nebbiolo. To me, is next to Pinot Noir, the best red grape in the world, and always happy to taste. And just to make a slight excuse, I think to look for a terroir, Nebbiolo and terroir in Australia is still very early.
When you drink Italian Nebbiolo, which is pretty much the textbook Nebbiolo.
Absolutely. I'm usually in heaven when it's good.
Okay, enough said.
So Chef, what do you think about Jancis Robinson when she said Nebbiolo can't travel?
Oh yes, that was a discussion that we had a long time ago. And I
is it
remember even before you started working in Toppers, you were like, I'm gonna change that.
I just think Nebbiolo didn't have enough time to establish itself in different countries, different regions, different terroirs, you know. And look at Pinot Noir, it's only about now, or just recent 10 or 15 years when we really start talking seriously about New World Pinot Noir and terroir. And it's been so long. We've been working with Pinot Noir in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, USA. So yeah, I mean, like maybe in 30, 40 years, it'll be different discussion with Nebbiolo, hopefully.
Well, for sure. I mean, it's changing right now, so you can definitely see some really good expressions of Nebbiolo outside of Italy, in Australia, also in different parts of Europe, some in the US. So it's not like impossible to replicate. But of course, like you said, it takes time to.
And I don't think you want to replicate it. It would be probably like Pinot Noir. You know, Central Otago is pretty much Central Otago Pinot Noir. Nothing like Burgundy, nothing like anything else in the world. It has its character.
Yeah.
So why would you? So
yeah, and Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir tastes totally different.
Yeah.
Yarra Valley tastes totally different. Even some like Eastern European Pinots taste so much different from like a Burgundy.
I quite like all of them.
Oh,
which is good. Good
representations.
The first one is very savory, or the most savory of those 3. And it kind of probably the only one that has that tar component in it. It's definitely not as generous on sweeter fruit as these 2. It's more kind of red fruit, crunchy, like wild strawberries, raspberries. But as I said, very bit of tar and earthiness with that as well. So it kind of doesn't seem like very New World style or very warm climate style. I think that, and it's quite high in acid. I'll probably say carefully that this is probably from Toppers Mountain.
Always ballsy. All these winemakers are very ballsy. They're like, some of them would smell the wine and just be like, oh, this is mine.
Knowing Toppers Mountain Vineyard, I think that it's the savoriness and the high acid that kind of would bring me there, because the other 2 wines are way more generous in fruit. Okay. And this wine, well, I'm pretty sure this is not Toppers wine because this is very generous, very sweet. Either made with a fair bit of oxygen or older vintage, already developed wines. So it seems to me that the fruit is almost touching the jammy or cook fruit character. The tannins are fine and resolved, that are definitely not as as intensive and assertive as in the first wine. Maybe it lacks a little bit of shape, if you know what I mean. It kind of behaves slightly on a bit like Grenache rather than like Nebbiolo, but in a good sense. It's lovely to drink. The third wine is just one word: sexy. It's a really lovely wine to drink right now. It's not as structured as these two. The tannins are not as intensive, but they are very fine, very smooth. It's crunchy, it's fresh, it speaks of the variety, and it sort of works very well from the beginning to the end. These two other wines are more angular, not in a bad way, but they are not as smooth as Fahrenheit, and it's fairly fresh. So I would definitely put this wine to a cooler climate, Adelaide Hills or cooler Yarra. I will take the shot and say Adelaide Hills.
All right.
Just because it would make sense in the context of the region. And the middle one, well, I said McLaren Vale, but as I said, it could be warmer vintage or warmer part of Victoria.
Ooh. All right. Ready?
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Okay. First wine, undoubtedly Topper's Mountain.
I got one.
So
That's good. I can go home.
We're good. That's the hardest part is out of the way. The rest is like, okay, it's interesting, it's intriguing.
No, I will not look like a complete idiot now, so that's fine.
Actually,
go ahead.
Both of these wines are from Victoria.
Yeah, that's all right.
So the middle one is coming from a winery called Company Wine.
Beechworth,
And
yeah.
it's from Beechworth.
Yes, makes sense. Slightly warmer region, but not too warm. And 14% of alcohol, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it makes complete sense. Yeah. No, I'm happy. I'm happy with what I said.
And then we have Nebbiolo coming from Fletcher.
Fletcher.
So this is a regional blend.
That's a regional blend, yeah.
So it could be-
Nebbiolo in Australia is doing really well currently. It's very popular. It's very popular among drinkers as well, which I think is great. It's usually made, and that's a surprise, we kind of expect Australia being a warm climate, but usually Nebbiolo is made in Australia in a rather fresher style. And the problem is I don't think it's corresponding with the terroir. It's more with the market, because I think Nebbiolo made in easier to drink, kind of like an easier New World kind of more fruitier, crunchier expression next to Barolo.
Oh, yeah.
That you don't need to age forever. And we can also, I think first Nebbiolo has been planted in Australia somewhat about 10 years ago, so they are not really old wines. Most of them will be just matured or really young wines. So there is no really reason to chase up the full-bodied structured Barolo style, because I don't think we explored the terroirs or we explored the potential of the variety in the climate, the winemaking that we need to adapt. So I think most of the guys that focus on Nebbiolo, and I think Luke Lambert is the great example who really tries to get the Nebbiolo right, and it's his focus. It's not just another wine in the portfolio. For him, it's just the variety to focus it. He's doing a really good job to figure out how to bring Nebbiolo, and is getting close to that kind of more structured, age-worthy kind of Piedmont-like style. I think what would be important for, and many of the winemakers do so, is just try to follow the winemaking that is common in Lange. To start. Just I think it should be kind of with every variety that is new to Australia. Just stick with the way how it's made in its place of origin. And if it doesn't work, then start to deviate, start to play with it. But you will be kind of reinventing the wheel, trying to make it in a different way, because this guy's been doing it for hundreds of years in a certain way, and it works. So why not to try that first and then go different direction if you need to.
But one more thing that I've seen in Australia quite often is the blending of different grapes. So it's not uncommon, especially in South Australia, to see Nebbiolo blended with Sangiovese or Dolcetto or something else. Do you think that could be something to explore, or would you rather stick to mono-varietal?
I honestly think that if you see, most of the blends that you can see is kind of a practical solution. You either don't have enough fruit, or it's a very young wine, so the fruit doesn't have enough maturity, or it's not just doesn't bring you enough structure or whatever you want from it. It's got a practical solution than kind of stylistic decision that you want to pursue, and I would be rather against it myself. I think Nebbiolo is like Pinot Noir, it doesn't blend well. I have tried just for fun blending some red varieties from Topaz Vineyard with Nebbiolo, and even as less as 5 or 3% of different variety takes away quite a lot of the personality of the variety. So I don't think it makes sense to blend Nebbiolo.
Yeah.
If you don't need to, just don't do it.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thanks so much for your insights. The tasting was quite interesting.
Thank you. No,
Hope you like the wines. We're gonna drink them later.
Of course we will. Looking forward to it.
Check out Toppers Mountain, New England, New South Wales. We'll be back.